If you are like many offices right now, you are probably in the process of planning your return to office. And if your employees have enjoyed the past 2 years of working from home, you might be experiencing some resistance. So in this video, we're going to talk about some tips and strategies that you can do to overcome the return to office resistance with your team. Let's go. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben Preston, author of Harness Your Butterflies and creator of the Career Accelerator program, helping professionals just like you to create an awesome and fulfilling career. If you're new to the channel, if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button. I have new videos every week. And if this video is helpful for you, make sure to leave a thumbs up. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so like I said before, we're talking about returning to the office, and you might be enjoying working from home. Your team, I guarantee you, is enjoying working from home, but a lot of people are starting to struggle with the thought process of, okay, we need to return to the office. Why? Why can't we continue working from home? We were doing it for the past 2 years. What's going on? Now, if you don't have a good answer for that, that's okay. But a lot of businesses are just trying to get back to normal. They're paying for a lease on a building. They have all these resources and productivity that might be lost if people are working from home. And as a manager, you might be thinking, now what do? I need to get my team on board. I need to get them aligned with returning to the office. But how do I do that? So let's start to build a plan so that you can approach your team and hopefully have a good transition back to the office. The first thing that you want to do is understand where the resistance is coming from. This might look like something like there might be some fear of uncertainty or fear of change or just not wanting to do it. A lot of people feel like, a lot of your employees are feeling like, and this is something that's happening all over the place, they feel like they're losing a sense of freedom. So they've had the freedom to work from home, to kind of have the flexibility of work-life integration. They've had a lot more opportunities to kind of build out their personal life in the past 2 years. And so as a manager, you need to understand that the return to the office is signaling to your employees that a lot of them feel like they're missing out on freedom and they're missing the opportunity to get work done on their terms. So we talked about the source of the resistance. Now, the second thing that you want to do is acknowledge your employees' feelings. Now, this might seem a little bit fluffy if you are kind of a matter-of-fact manager, but if you take a second to acknowledge that your employees have some valid points, they have some feelings that are kind of left unaddressed at the moment, or if you just brush past it and just say, well, this is what we need to do, what you're going to find is that resistance is going to harden and people are going to become a little bit jaded by the fact that they have to go back into the office, and what they might do is they might look for another job. So you want to soften that resistance by empathizing and showing that you understand where they're coming from, you understand their feelings, and you want to make sure that you're listening to what their concerns are so that when you actually do draft the plan and draft your communications with them, that you can have their feelings in mind. The third thing that you want to do is make sure that you're communicating effectively. So what you want to do is make sure that you're using the insights and the information that you've taken from those conversations with your team. So you've done the listening, you've acknowledged their feelings. Now, what are their feelings, or what are the underlying pain points that they have? Maybe it's a lack of freedom. Maybe it's the fact that they aren't having, you don't trust them as much. They feel like things are still going to be uncertain. They feel like they were doing better at home. All of those things. So when you actually get back to planning your return to office, you want to make sure that you're communicating very clearly dates, deadlines, expectations, and most importantly, changes. What are the things that are going to be changing when you guys return to the office? Is it going to be business as usual? If so, you're probably going to see a lot more resistance. People are expecting there to be change, and they're expecting there to be positive change that benefits them. Now, if you are a manager, middle-level manager, you might not have all the influence in the world to be able to choose what that freedom looks like for your team, but you can adjust their workflows in a way that helps your team engage with the work and engage with the office in a little bit different way. But the thing that you want to do at step 3 is make sure that you're communicating that all of these things are being thought through, that you understand where employees are coming from, and that you're thinking about it from their point of view, not from the corporate point of view. Because I can promise you, if your employees are experiencing resistance or if they're showing you resistance, they're not thinking about the company right now either. They're thinking about, how is this going to benefit me? So you kind of need to meet them where they are and walk them along the journey of, here's the plan, here's what we're doing, here's how this is going to work better for us, here are the benefits that we have, here's all the things that are going to be beneficial to you that's going to allow the company to operate more efficiently. Number 4, you make sure you want to take action on employee feedback. Now, when I say take action on employee feedback, I mean you don't want to just do everything that everyone tells you to do, but you actually want to create and sculpt a plan that reflects how they feel. Now, if people are saying they want more freedom, they want more autonomy, then start to think about how can I structure their workflow, how can I structure their day, how can I make things a little bit more flexible so that they're able to integrate their personal lives with their work lives. For every piece of feedback or every feeling that you've been getting from your team, if you aren't able to address the specific concern, you want to make sure that you can talk to them about that. So if somebody says, I feel this way, I feel scared that things are going to be uncertain. Now, if you are a manager, you don't have all the answers either. And obviously you don't know that things are going to be certain either with the world and the way that things are. But you don't want to make sure you sugarcoat it. You want to make sure that you can address it and say, I understand this is a valid point, we're going to still move forward in this way, and this is going to be something that we're looking at in the future, we're developing on a plan for this, all of those things. So make sure that when you're actually taking feedback that you're acting on it, even if that action is just communicating with people. In terms of things that you actually want to incorporate in that plan, the actions that you actually want to incorporate in that plan, you want to make sure that you're readdressing how meetings are done, individual one-on-ones. Maybe your one-on-one meetings are no longer face-to-face, just sitting down in an office talking to each other. Maybe you go out on your one-on-ones and you get coffee, or maybe your one-on-ones turn out to a lunch outing, or something that you can't do remotely. You want to make sure that you're building those relationships one-on-one in those one-to-one meetings. Maybe another change that you want to incorporate is, we have these big settings, these big office meetings, and people are still zooming in if you're in different offices. Maybe you have some sort of fun game that you can play with people in the room, or maybe you have something fun that you can bring with you, whether it's, knickknacks, tchotchkes, snacks, whatever. And I don't think that you should always incentivize people with food, but you could do something fun like a team building activity while you're waiting for the meeting to start. And the last thing that you want to do in this category is make sure that you put together some sort of FAQ document. So what are the questions that you're getting the most? And then write those down with some sort of solution. If you as a manager don't have the answers to that, work with your communications team within your organization and say, these are the questions that employees have, how should I be responding? And then create that resource for your team so that they have something that they can look back on. And number 5, follow up with your team once they return. So actually, take time to figure out what your plan was, what was the feedback, what was all the communication that you were doing, and actually make sure that you're implementing things so that it's not just business as normal. Because really, when people come back to the office, they're expecting, their entire lives have changed. Therefore, their work experiences should change as well. So how can you make things more exciting, more beneficial, more energizing for your team when they return to the office? Now, if you think about the reason that people would not want to return to the office is for lack of freedom, but let's say that they can have freedom in the office in addition to all of these other emotional benefits like exciting, energizing, fun, engaging, all of these things that people can experience in the office that they can't experience at home. How can you create those emotional experiences in the office so that people are more attracted to the idea of coming to work? Now, this is not going to be a simple solution. It's probably going to be ongoing. There's probably going to be some things that you try that don't work. But at the end of the day, if you as a manager are trying and you're showing that you're listening to your employees, that's going to go really, really far. And with that, that's all that I have on this video. If it's helpful, leave a thumbs up. If you have any other things that you would add, please let me know in the comments below. And I have new videos every week, so I'll see you on the next one.